Well, welcome everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Before we get started, it is my honor and pleasure to invite up Amy Wolfson to give us some announcements.
All right, thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Amy Wolfson, and on behalf of the Beth El Board of Trustees, I would like to welcome you to our Shabbat service, and Mazel Tov to Rebecca Penna and Gina Fishman as we celebrate their conversion to Judaism. If you are new to our congregation or attending as a visitor or a brand new member like David Katz, please introduce yourself to Rabbi Dime or myself after our service so we may give you a more appropriate and personal welcome. It is a delight to spend this joyful time together as we celebrate Shabbat. After services, you're all invited to a special oneg to celebrate the joyous simcha of Gina and Rebecca's conversion. And March 1st, please join us for a night of comedy. It's our annual fundraiser, and seats are limited. You can find more information in our weekly bulletin. We are delighted that you're here. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
So yes, welcome everyone again. It is great to see everybody here. And let us turn to page 128, where we can sing together about how good and how pleasant it is for all of us to dwell together this Shabbat. At the top of the page, Hine Ma Tov. Hine ma tovu malayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu malayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu malayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu malayim, shevet achim gam yachad. And now, we turn to page 120, for the lighting of the candles, and then we'll go from there to page 123 for the blessing over the wine, for the Kiddush. And for the lighting of the candles and the blessing of the wine, I'd like to invite up Gina Fishman and Rebecca Penna to help lead us. Page 120. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. And now we turn to page 123, for the blessing of the wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu achata, V'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ava u'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. It is always a pleasure to welcome people up to the Bima for a joyous occasion. So good to have you up here, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We can't make enough PSAs, but so anybody who can make it tomorrow morning for services, we're going to bring up Gina and Rebecca again to the Bima, and it is going to be awesome. So it's going to be good. For tonight, though, let's turn to page 142 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And now we turn to page 146, having welcomed the angels to our Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. We now turn and have our call and response, call to worship. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu, page 146. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. You may be seated. We turn to page 148. Please join with me in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. And now we turn to page 150. Please join with me. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel, by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now we turn to page 152, 152 for the Shema. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. We turn to page 154, 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot ayadecha, v'hayu l'tatafot beineinecha, u'chtabtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha leman tizkeru fasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedushim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lechem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet. And now we turn to page 159, 159. And Reform Judaism is ever-changing and evolving. And I know many of you have heard me say this already, but I'll say it again. On page 159, I am evolving what is written here, the liturgy, to be sing the song of people. And so, in 1 second, when we get there, please join with me. Page 159, together. Sing the song of people, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And now we look back to page 158 for our people's song of redemption, Mi Chamocha. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Malachutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalo meyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And now we turn to page 160, 160, for the Hashkivenu. Let us read together about the Hashkivenu in the English. Please join with me. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And the thing about Hashkivenu, like so many of our blessings of our liturgy, is that they are long. And so we can take excerpts from them, and we can say them in English, we can read parts in Hebrew, and like we'll do tonight, we have said the English and we're going to sing part of it in the Hebrew together. Hashkivenu, as we read, invokes God's help in building a Sukkot Shlomecha, a shelter of peace. And so whether you find that the English resonates more for you or the song in the Hebrew, whatever works, take that liturgy, take that resonance, and use that, channel that, as you ask God to help us to build a shelter of peace. We sing Hashkivenu, the words at the top of the page. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. And now we turn to page 162, 162 for Vishamru. And actually, let us read this together in English too, and I'll get to why we're doing that in just a moment. Together in the English. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. And so part of what we're doing here this Shabbat is celebrating with Gina and Rebecca, who have already actually converted to Judaism. They've already gone through all of the rituals and all of the trials and tribulations of what it takes to become a Jew. And this Vishamru talks about God's covenant with the people of Israel. And so it may not be your first Vishamru singing with us, but it's our first Vishamru necessarily celebrating with all of you. So let's join together singing about God's covenant with the Jewish people for all time. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat L'dorotam berit olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat L'dorotam berit olam Beni uven v'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayenafash Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. And now we turn to page 164, 164. For the Tefillah portion of our service, and will be on the even pages. And I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Page 164. Adonai sefatai tiftach upi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Novlim V'rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umito Melach, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim v'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. We turn to page 175, 175. Please join with me at the bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. And now please join with me at the top of page 177, 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. And now we turn to page 178, 178 for Shalom Rav. It is thirsty work, and you'll forgive me for taking some sips of water here or there. With all that we have to be grateful for, with all that we just gave thanks for, we are still praying for peace. So please channel some of your prayer energy into this Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon Lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon Lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. And now that we have prayed for peace, our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing, whether it is healing of mind or of body or of spirit. The congregation is thinking for healing of Jim DeArmond, Pearl Levin, Carol Friedman, Carol Wallace, Carol Solomon, June Van, Rabbi Michael Matchison, Sherry Chait, Larry Michaelov, Antoinette Worrell, Linda Chambliss, Judge Frank Caprio, Fran Marcus, Howard Silvers, Paige Hedrick, Vanessa Warner, Jaime Klinger, Jane Stewart, Kathy Weiner, Rob Moreland, Ben Beltran, David Adler, Jeff Mayer, Linda Margulis, Sadie Charlotte Schwartz, Dean Fiandaca, Sophie Kruski, Arthur Iglico, Rose Iglico, Carolyn Boyles, David Charles, Karen Toker, Rabbi Ben Yehuda, Karen Friedman, Bob Thrasher, Don D'Amelia, Bryce Rutan, all those injured in the LA fires, all Israeli hostages, all Israeli soldiers injured in war, and all civilians injured in any war. And now, if there's anyone here that has a name of someone that you would like to share with the congregation who you are praying for healing, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all of their names together as a community. We turn to page 371. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'am Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. And now let us take a few moments for a silent meditation for the prayers of your heart. Ose shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. So, how did we get the Torah? There's the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai, but there's a story. Oh, sorry. Please. Okay. Next time, I'll see your hand and call on you. Sorry to cut you off. But yes, God gave us the Torah on Mount Sinai, and there's always a rabbinic story to expand on what we know about what happened. And so in one rabbinic story about the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai, God actually says to the Jewish people, well, what are you going to give me? What's your collateral for my giving you this huge gift of the Torah? And, the Israelites, ancient Israelites, didn't have a whole lot, and they came up with a few different things, but God was like, I don't know about that. Until finally, the ancient Israelites promised God our children, and to teach the Torah to future generations. And so telling our story to the future generations is what we promised God that earned God giving us the Torah. And so keeping that in mind about what our obligations are as Jews to tell our story brings me to saying to all of you, Shabbat Shalom. All right, great. The energy is still good. We're still up. We're still alive. Okay, Shabbat Shalom. And leading into what a blessing it is to be able to welcome new people to our tradition who carry on our stories. Gina and Rebecca, it is a pleasure to be able to welcome you here as Jews formally, and knowing that you'll be passing on these stories, as you already are, to future generations. And so this week in Parshat Bo, we witness one of the most transformative moments in the Torah, the final steps of the Israelites towards freedom. We haven't gotten the Torah at Mount Sinai yet. That was a little bit of a spoiler. But we're getting there. We're getting there. The final steps of Israel's liberation from Egypt. Amid the drama of the plagues and the anticipation of freedom, God delivers instructions for the first Passover. We get rules about how to observe Passover. These aren't just logistical details, as much as they may seem like a bunch of instructions. They're deeply spiritual. God commands the Israelites to remember the story of redemption, ensuring that it be passed down to our children and our children's children forever. But here's something extraordinary. In this moment of transition, the Torah emphasizes inclusivity. The Torah emphasizes how when we were leaving Egypt, when the Israelites were leaving Egypt, we didn't leave alone. We didn't say only people that were born an Israelite get to come with us. We brought whoever was interested in leaving. We brought with open arms anyone who was interested in coming with us into this new chapter in our history. It states explicitly that any person who comes in as a stranger is not to remain a stranger. They are welcome to join the community and take part in the covenant and celebrate Passover along with the Israelites, to join our people. This monumental event, our people's first act of freedom, isn't reserved solely for those who are born into our community. It extends an open hand to all who choose to belong. Today, as a Jewish community, we honor that spirit of welcome. We embrace those who have joined through conversion, those who have joined Judaism with intention, love, and commitment. To every Jew by choice, whether you've just taken this identity on or have been living it for years, we say from the depths of our hearts again, welcome. Taking on Judaism is so much more than just adopting practices or beliefs. It's about stepping into an eternal story, the story of the Jewish people. And in choosing that story, you claim collective memory, stories of triumph and tragedy, exile and return, struggle and resilience. You become part of a family that remembers our exodus from Egypt, our covenant with God from Mount Sinai, and our ongoing mission to bring justice and light to the world. And you take on the sacred task, as I mentioned before, of passing it forward, which you are already doing. And I got to say, you got great kids. You're doing a great job. I'm talking about you guys. All right. So, it's no small task to take on that responsibility. It's a profound declaration of hope, because every time we tell our story, every time we have a Passover Seder, we're talking about Judaism to people that we meet, or even when we're saying the blessings at Shabbat, they talk about the Exodus from Egypt. We affirm that our history matters and that the Jewish future is worth building. So I ask, are we telling our story as often as we can? How might we find more opportunities to share about the beauty of Judaism with others? To Gina and Rebecca, you too have taken on this sacred responsibility. And you do so and join a community that welcomes you with open arms, as you know. We're ready to learn from you, to support you, and to grow with you in this future. Just as our ancestors left Egypt as a mixed multitude and walking together towards freedom, they welcomed people into the covenant, so too do we continue today, carrying forward the story of our people as one people. In Parshat Bo, God tells the Israelites to prepare for their children's questions, because kids always have questions. And the one they tell us to prepare for is, what do you mean by this rite about observing Passover? And the answer that the Torah gives about God passing over the house of the Israelites in Egypt isn't just for biological descendants, isn't just for the people that were born Jewish. It's for all of us. Whether we're born Jewish or join this covenant later, we are all heirs to this story. And in answering that question, in telling our story, we keep the light of Judaism alive. So to every member of our community, everyone here, everyone on the live stream, all the Jews all over the world, those who have been here since you were born, those who have recently arrived, let us remember the power of welcoming and the joy of storytelling. Let us tell the world about the beauty of being Jewish. And again, thank you for choosing this path, for enriching our community. Your courage gives all of us hope. May we continue walking together, keeping our arms open, lighting the way for the future, and telling our story. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We turn to page 678, 678. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for Hatikva, Israel's national anthem. Kol od balevav pnima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion tzofia, od lo avda tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam choshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, liotam choshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. I invite you to remain standing in body or spirit as we turn back to page 586, 586 for the Aleinu, the one at the bottom of the page. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kugayei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kimishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim v'yosed haaretz, umoshav yikaro bashamayim mima'al, ushchinatu zo begove meromim, hu Eloheinu enod, emet malkeinu efes zulato, kakatuv betorato, V'yadat hayom v'hashavota elevavecha, ki Adonai hua Elohim, bashamayim mima'al, v'al haaretz mitachat enod, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo Ushemo echad. You may be seated. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24, and then in each moment. In the faces of the people, I see God, and in my own face in the mirror. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, because I know that wheresoever I go, someone else will follow after forever and ever. The congregation is thinking of those who came before us. We're thinking about those whom we have lost within the last year: Rodney Elk, Alan Hyman, Mary Louise Boyer, Buzzy Klausner, Gregory Wayne Berger, David Dunn, Barry Schoenfeld, Milton Margulis, David Shaknovsky, David Friedman, David Cohen, Mike Hyman, Alice McCauley Schumer, Carol Mandel, Helen Gerber, and Jerry Chait. And we're thinking about those whom we have lost at this time in years past: Erwin Aronoff, Senator Stanley J. Aronoff, Gary Cooper, Lionel Gleichenhaus, Annette Goldberg, Arthur Greenfield, Ira Kinder, Irving Schulman, and Nellie Wallace. If there's anyone here that's remembering somebody and you'd like to share their name with the community, I invite you to rise in body or spirit and share their name as my eyes meet yours. You don't have to stand up, but feel free to share their name and my eyes meet yours. I invite us all to turn to page 598, 598, and to rise in body or spirit for the Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Chirutei, Be'amlich Malchutei, B'chayachon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. On page 625, 625, is Adon Olam, a standard way of ending a service. And I'd like to do tonight a melody that I grew up hearing, maybe not every week, but a lot of weeks. Please join with me. Adon Olam asher malach, b'terem ko yitzir nivra, li'et nasa b'chefzo kol, azai melech shemo nikra, ve'acharei kichlot hakol, levado imloch nora, v'hu haya v'hu hoveh, v'hu yiyeh b'tifara, v'hu echad v'yein sheni, lahamshil lo lahachbira, b'li reshit b'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra, v'hu eli v'chai goali, v'tzur chevli be'et tzara, Vehu nisi umanos li menat kosi beyom ekra beyado avkid ruchi be'eti shan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira. And so, now I invite you to turn back to page 603, 603, and to rise in body or spirit for the priestly benediction. Coming back to the Torah, the blessing that the priests said over the Israelites in ancient Egypt. In ancient Israel, oh my gosh. We're still in Egypt, but we're going to ancient Israel. So when they built the temple in ancient Israel, this is where the priest said that blessing. Page 603. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Shabbat shalom, everyone.